What it do, what it is, what it ain't. Thanks for listening to the latest episode of the Get Right Podcast. Don't forget to follow and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify to get notifications of new content. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you dig? Cue the music. Yo, what it do, what it is, what it ain't. It's your boy T. It's the Get Right Podcast, season 6, bruh. And we nearing 100 episodes, bruh. We doing the damn thing. As always, man, it's your boy T. Never rolling solo. I got the brain trust with me, who had us starting off in Clubhouse yelling at us about Zion Williamson and everything else above, man. But Rod, what's good? What's them 3 words, bruh?
What up, though?
Yes, sir, man. And the people they love to hate and hate to love. DC, Mr. Misconception, bro. What's good?
Yeah, it's your boy DC in the place to be, man. The truth shall set you free. Y'all gonna love me after this episode. I promise, man. Y'all keep tuning in. Y'all gonna love me in about an hour. Holla at your boy.
All right, bro. You ain't no shout outs. No shout outs. Shout out that we're not doing it. We're not doing it this time
I ain't
around,
do
bro.
that. I ain't do it this time.
It's all
But man, I'm getting straight to the business, man. I'm getting straight
All
to
right,
the business today.
Speaking of business, bro, we got a businessman with us, man. A friend of mine's, man. It's good to see him, man. He has a book out. I've been reading it, man, while I've been on the plane. Welcome to Detroit. There's an author, a good homie of mine's, man. Ken Holyfield, representing your hood, Rod, Detroit. What's good, bro?
Hey, what up, though, man? You know I had to greet y'all in the Detroit slang, man. How everybody doing, man? What's good?
Yeah, bro. You know, Rod feel like he at home now, boy.
Always.
Yeah. Oh, no, but nah, man. Welcome to the show, bro. I'm happy to have you, bro. You got this book out here in the top 100. Excuse me, in the top 75 in
Thank
Amazon
you.
right now, man. Welcome to Detroit, bro. Like, one, man, what got you writing this book? You know, tell a little bit of people about it. Don't give it all, man, because they need to get the book and read it. It is a dope read because I was on there Googling like a mug, bro. Every time I read, like, man, that really happened? Google. So, but tell people about the book, man. What was your thought process with it? How's that come to fruition, bro?
Oh, man, the book was just loving the Detroit culture, man. I just wanted this before the Detroit rap scene, you know what I'm saying, took off to where it is right now. So I always just been a fan of rap music. So to get people to understand our music, they had to understand our culture. And it was so crazy. It was a real big disconnect. Like you would tell somebody about Detroit music before it took off. Oh, it sound basement. It sound local. Like we were so used to listening to other people's music, we didn't even realize how we sound. Cause like hip hop of course started from New York, then it went to L.A. and then like not just L.A. but just California in general, and then it went down south. So we was always used to listening to other people's music but our own. So that just didn't sit right with me. So I had to make sure I wanted to give our artists our flowers and give our city our flowers. So that's why the book was
For sure, bro. I mean, it's a great read, man. Like, you even speak about the French culture. So for those get that book, it's dope. I was like, I ain't even okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was dope, man. Like, you really hitting the history on it, man. Like, as you talk about the music side, you also hit on some other things in the book about the history. You know what I mean? About like, obviously, there are some things where Detroit, where people, I'm air quoting, right? You hear the word Detroit, you think violence, somebody getting shot, all this, but it was more to that, bro. It's more about unity and community as well, man. Like, can you touch on those things, bro? Why is that important to you?
yes, man. I'm really I love just all the great things like what's going on in the city of Detroit. Like when I came home, man, I'm talking about the place didn't even look the same when I went downtown. Everything, man, it was just so far as the things that was going on, far as the city just like I spoke up on people think it was only one race riot, the one in 1967. But it was two before that. Okay, so like when I wrote this book, man, this book is the Almanac of Detroit. Like it's a time capsule. So everything that ever happened in Detroit that was a major event, it's in there. I'm talking about like man, Detroit has always been a thriving city. We the third richest city in the United States back in the day. I talked about, you know what I'm saying, white flight happened. I talked about how, man, everybody know about, you know what I'm saying, like Black Bottom in Detroit and how they built I-75 and built it right through Black Bottom just to stop the progression that was going on in the Black community. So these was things that, man, I'm talking about. I talked about how Aretha Franklin father brought Martin Luther King to the city. And that's what he did the I Have a Dream speech first in Detroit. Like these are things that people didn't know about. He did the I Have a Dream speech first in the Cobo Hall. So
Facts.
it was so many great things that, man, I'm talking about once I started doing my research and seeing, man,
Mm-hmm.
a part of, I'm like, man, like no book had never been wrote like this. I say this story got to be told. Got to be told.
For sure, bro. I'm proud of you, bro. I loved it.
Yeah.
It's a dope read. Even my wife's like, "Oh, you reading this book?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was sitting on the plane. A few episodes I talked back. I went to DC, nation's capital, with the wife, and I'm on the plane
Love it.
going at it, man, just looking at it and everything, man. And it was just a great read, man. And like I said, I was on Google, like, I didn't even know this.
Mhm.
I hear Rod like facts. You know what I'm saying? Obviously being from Detroit, you know what I'm saying? But it was dope, man. Like, I'm proud of the success. It's been great, man. And I'm gonna be petty for like 10 seconds. How come I ain't get a shout out in the book, bro?
Man, as you see, that that was like my first two books I did the shout outs, but I know so many people. It was like my third one I didn't do. I just said thank you to the city. It was so many people. It was like, man, I didn't want nobody to feel left out. But if I did, man, charge it to my head, not my heart.
Man, for sure, bro. You know me, I just had to be petty for 10 seconds though, man. But
Man,
Facts.
so I've been watching this show, BMF.
Yes.
And of course, he started in Detroit before going down to Atlanta. How much of that show is like completely made up versus like, it really goes down like that in the D.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Of course, they got to add a lot, because
Dramatization, yeah.
it's a TV show.
Mhm.
So a lot of it, but majority, the basis of the story is real. You know what I'm saying? Of course,
Mhm.
we gotta add more flair to the story because we got to keep the people watching. So we gonna embellish some parts of the story, but them guys, everything how them guys are living, that's how them guys is really living, man.
For sure.
Man.
when you gonna be on the show, bro? Plug.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 50, holla at them. When you gonna be on the show, bro? We need to see you on next season, bro.
Man, that's something I would love to see. That's something I would definitely love to
Yeah,
see, for real.
that's what's up,
But
bro.
before we get to that though, man, we have a lot of we got to talk about, man, our thriving movie scene in Detroit. Right now, man, we are the Black Hollywood with independent movies, with all the movies that's on Tubi and everything. So shout out to all the, man, I'm talking about Moolah Films, everybody who's doing all that great work, because right now every movie that's coming out is coming out from Detroit. That's independent.
Man, Tubi movie capital of the world, bro.
Yes.
My wife loves them Tubi movies, man. Like when I say she's probably watching it right now as we are recording, bro. Like she be watching them, man. And what's crazy is, people will have jokes about the Tubi movies, about the special effects and whatnot.
Yeah,
But people be watching them though.
man.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That case, look at Tyler Perry made a $1 billion empire off stuff like this.
Right.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
long as
Damn,
I'm talking about it
facts.
doesn't matter how does it look. It doesn't. It all you have to be able to connect with the people.
Hmm.
Like once you connect with the people, I'm talking about everything else gonna fall in place. But
Yeah,
everything else, that's
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't really get into the Tubi joints, but I know it's real big. I know a couple people that's been in a couple of those movies for sure.
same.
man.
So it's good to see for sure that people are getting a platform and the big budgets come after that. Once all it takes is some movement. Once you get some movement, people come running, bro.
All
Yes,
day. Denzel, they ain't start at training day, y'all. For those who listening, it ain't where it started at, bro.
Y'all ever seen Glory? Man, that was a dope movie
Facts.
with
Yeah,
Yes,
it
before
was.
Denzel.
Glory, bro. He
Yeah,
was doing
Glory.
TV, bro. He wasn't nobody big, bro.
Yeah, I mean everybody, man. I
Mm.
think Brad Pitt was doing commercials. You know what I'm saying?
George
So
Clooney,
Mhm.
yeah,
all of
it's
that,
just
bro.
it's steps to it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, you like you said, bro. I agree, man. I ain't gonna lie, Tubi do be having me cracking up, bro. On some of the special effects, I be cracking up. I be cracking up, bro. But I'm watching it though. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? You still got a view from me. You know what I'm saying?
For
But I be
sure.
cracking up though. Sometimes I be like, wait, what? You
yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like my man curved the
Yeah.
bullet. I said, nah, man.
Or the hairstyle just changed in the middle of the scene.
I be cracking up,
Yeah.
but I'm watching it though, bro.
Yeah,
But
people be watching, bro.
Yeah.
you got to think though too. Go back to like when black people didn't have the big Hollywood budgets, and they didn't have
Facts.
the white theaters coming to see them. You know, it was the black exploitation type of
Yeah,
films that were
Dolomite.
out there. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Dolomite,
Mhm.
you know what I mean, Shaft, those type of joints was huge, and they did well, man. And I think that's like the new wave of Tubi, and they'll continue to progress as they get the budgets, bro. It's
That's
entertaining.
true, man.
Yeah, I
That's big
definitely
time,
definitely
bro.
agree. I definitely agree. I
Man.
just
So
love these
Ken,
people,
man,
man. They had a
for sure. So I don't think we got to hear where you were from, man. Tell the people a little bit about yourself, bro. Like where you're from, like what's your story,
okay,
and we could get into it, bro.
okay, man. I'm from the west side of Detroit or
You
whatever, man. I'm
only
talking about my
the best
grandparents. I
side,
grew
bro.
up. I grew up,
Here we
man. I'm
go.
talking about my parents is from, you know what I'm saying, over there, Freeland and Schoolcraft, man. I'm talking about they've been over there since the 60s. I'm talking about my mother went to Cooley,
Mhm.
my aunties went to Cooley, everything. So that whole Schoolcraft, Grand River, all
Yep.
that Finkel and all that, you know what I'm saying? So, and I used to, like, my auntie, she used to live on Schoolcraft and Lauder.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We was younger. My mother was a working lady. She worked 24/7. She worked for the medical field. So I would get dropped off over my auntie house in the morning at 4 o'clock in the morning and go to school from over there on Schoolcraft and Lauder. So then from there, when I would get out of school, my grandfather would pick us up and take us on Schoolcraft and Freeland. So man, I got a chance, man. I'm talking about that's why I know people from so many places. And I always lived on Plymouth. So, you know what I'm saying? It's man, I love my Schoolcraft people, man. When I mean I love
Rod
them,
loving all of this.
100 years,
when
bro.
I mean they just genuine people, man. Like, and like I say, one thing about over there, like we all be for each other. Like if one person doing something, man, I'm talking about you can see on social media, everybody be, oh man, that's what's up. And that's why I love my Schoolcraft people. But I also got to give a shout out to my Plymouth people also.
Hmm.
Because you know what I'm saying, I always lived over there. And I met some solid guys over there. So that's what it is.
Yo, man. Hey,
For
I would say
sure.
this. I only met her twice. She probably don't remember me for nothing. But your mom's super dope, bro. She is like everybody's body's auntie's auntie, bro. The
Man,
energy that I got from her the 2 times I met her. Oh, happy belated too. So if she listening, happy belated. I know the birthday passed. So, but yeah, bro, like she super dope, bro. Shout out to her,
that's
bro.
my homegirl, man. Like when everything went crazy, man, I'm talking about she was there. And not just her, my stepmother, man, my auntie, like all man, I had so much support, but we'll talk about that later.
All day, man. I mean, speaking of that, bro, like, you got this book, you got some wins, bro. And this book came from a time and a place for you that was a dark, man.
Did the second book come out yet?
Yeah, the second book, I'm on my third one right now.
Are you working on a third one?
Yep.
Yes, yes. The third one, I released the third one while I was home. My first two books came out when I was incarcerated. The first one
I got you.
The first one came out October 2019, and my second one came out in March 2020 during COVID.
Mm.
Yep. So, and that's where I'm leading into, bro. Like, you're in this book, but then it's time for you said, and to quote you, it was a dark time for you, but you got through that with a light, man. Walk us through that, bro, that time, bro, that you said, being incarcerated,
Being
writing this book, or even just leading up to that point, bro. Like,
okay,
you know,
leading up to that point, you know, I always been into music. Like, man,
yep.
I'm saying I always been into. I'm talking about producing. I'm talking about just any parts dealing with music. I always have my hands anywhere, always over it. So like I say, man, I had people rapping all type of stuff. I end up getting incarcerated August the 31st, 2008 or whatever. I end up doing 13 years behind that. I end up making a bad decision. Like I always tell people, it's not a mistake. Anytime you thought about something and you did it, that's a decision. I ended
Mm,
up making a bad decision. Not only altered my life, but it altered my loved one's life around me. So I can remember it clear as day when everything played out that night. And it was so crazy. I got locked up in Oakland County. I can remember me and my co-defendant, they got us locked up in handcuffs. We riding down Woodward the same way we were just riding 2 weeks ago at the Dream Cruise to go to Pontiac,
man.
to go to Oakland County Prison. Like when I mean it was a crazy experience. So when I first got in there, of course they strip you down, take tattoos or whatever, check your tattoos or whatever. They put me in the car. They separated me and my co-defendant or whatever. So immediately when I get in there, my first 30 minutes on the floor. So they put you based on your crime. So they put me. I was around grays and oranges. That's the most violent people you could be around in the county, in Oakland County, because that's how they you know what I'm saying, let you know your crime. So they put me on the floor. Of course, I know I wasn't gonna get no easy. I knew it was gonna be hard from the beginning. They put me on the floor. As soon as I get up there, dude get knocked out. I wasn't on the floor for a minute. I ain't even had my bed roll yet. I'm talking about I'm unrolling the bed roll. Dude get knocked out. I'm talking about, so mind you, right? I'm from Detroit. Everybody else is from Pontiac. So we on the tier. I mean on the floor. It's
And Pontiac, I'm guessing, is like outside of Detroit,
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's where the Lions used to play football at.
Yeah.
or like the
So
suburbs, kind of.
yeah, it's the
Not really a suburb, but
it's
it's
in the suburbs, but that's not a suburb.
yeah. Yeah.
Oakland County,
Auburn Hills is
it,
more of the suburb, and then you got Pontiac. Pontiac is different, a little bit different, bro.
yeah, it's
Mm.
real different. That
Yeah.
I was in there, like I say, man. I'm talking about I was learning because prior to that I had never been incarcerated. So I'm seeing, bro, in there, they're fighting. I'm talking about it's fighting going on 24/7 in the county because don't nobody know their faith. So everybody anxiety is extremely high. So anything small can turn into something big. I ain't gonna never forget. I'm gonna tell y'all this crazy story, right? So we in the county. We sitting there. We all chilling or whatever. So at this time, everybody know each other in the county. This guy he come in. He go to the bathroom. He using the bathroom like he at the house. I'm talking. And in the county, they let you know, man. I'm talking about you better flush every time. Dude think he at the crib. I
Mm.
mean, people is so mad. He come out the bathroom, but dude knock him out immediately. I'm talking about
Wow.
Wow.
like crazy situations. Another crazy situation.
Dang.
Another crazy situation. I ain't gonna never forget, bro. I'm sitting in a bunk, so we watching news all day, and so in Oakland County, you're locked up all day. You got a TV where they got a TV in the hallway where you can watch the news. Everybody watching the news or whatever. So I doze off. So before I doze off, the news is like, yeah, we just captured the Baldwin Strangler. Now Baldwin is a street out in Pontiac. So dude was out there strangling prostitutes, right? So I doze off.
Mm.
I hear so in the county, you never know who coming in. The dough come in. Why the same dude who just got arrested for strangling all the prostitutes they bring in the cell with us. So
Oh
now
wow.
can't nobody sleep. The whole cube in there.
Wow.
Everybody in there up all night. So it was so much funny stuff, man. I'm talking about it was that now that's just a county experience. I'm talking about fighting going on 24/7. And the thing about the
Yeah.
county, everybody know each other case. So you can't be doing no there's if you ain't who you say you is, we all going to court with each other. And it's going if they ain't in my pod, they're gonna be in the pod next door. So if something ain't right, that dude can't wait to come back and tell everybody like, hey, dude ain't right. So
Mm.
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? It used to be crazy. That's why I say, man, I'm talking about no nothing go unseen or unheard in those type of
And you said you
situations.
did 13 years?
Did 13 years. I was locked up in the county. I'm talking about it was crazy. Just one of the coolest people I ever met was somebody that the news painted a reflection of this guy that wasn't even him. Like I was locked up with Nathaniel Abraham. He was the first kid to catch the adult case. He the one that kind of made Jeffrey Fire get
Yeah. I
so
remember that dude.
so before. Let me tell you a crazy situation. We were sitting there watching it on the news or whatever. Because remember when he came home, Oprah came, did all the
Yup.
things for him. They made sure he was straight. So we watching the news or whatever, chilling. Before he come in the cell, the CEO like, yeah, y'all about to get somebody coming in. We like who? He like such and such. So he telling us to squeeze him, to make it rough on him. I'm
Mm.
like, dude, you
Mm.
came in the cell with one of the coolest dudes I ever met in my life. And it showed me how they will put a perception of somebody and ain't even that. But that CO
Mm.
was on some garbage because that CO wanted us to do some stuff to
Do
him
some
to
dirt.
try to fight him.
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So that was that.
That
Man.
happen often, like with a lot of something that you probably observed where they be like, hey, like DC, because I'm always like giving DC shit. So DC coming in, you all gotta straighten him up. Like so, like
Because when you
did that
saw,
happen often with people,
no,
or
that
just
was
certain?
that was how it first started. So it shocked me. I'm like, because see, he was telling us like, yeah, like make it rough for me here. Man, dude, like I say, end up being one of the coolest people ever. I'm talking about. So it was just I'm going back and forth to court and everything, and I never thought in a million years that I was gonna get 13 years. Like you couldn't have told, man. I never had a juvenile record, man. I'm talking about. So what happened? I had a paid attorney. His name was Ronald Gold. He was out of Bingham Farms. Bingham Farms is it's between Bloomfield. It's on Telegraph. It's a small city. It's between Lather Village and
Yeah,
Farmington. And the other side to be Farmington. Then you got Bloomfield. So I'm thinking you got a paid lawyer. You're gonna be good. He telling me, he like, man, you ain't never been in trouble before, such and such. Dude, I never even knew how much time I was gonna get. They told me how much time I was gonna get during sentence day. So I found out when the judge told me. I come to court like, so now mind you, right? So you know what I'm saying? This how perception, this how they do you. They want you in the county looking most as dangerous as possible so we can play off this. They make sure they don't want you in there with no haircuts. We're gonna put you in orange, we're gonna put you in shackles. We want you to look like Hannibal Lecter if you walking through.
Yeah.
Mm.
I come in, I ain't gonna never forget. The courtroom is extremely packed. All my man, I had so much support my whole time there. I'm talking about my whole time when I was incarcerated. Man, the whole courtroom was filled up with my people. I ain't gonna never forget this. I walked in right before I got sentenced. I got sentenced December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas, 2008. I ain't gonna never forget this. So I walk in, everybody already crying. I knew it was gonna go bad then, man. What I mean, I knew it was gonna go
Wow.
bad. Everybody,
Mm.
I ain't gonna never forget. I looked. So when I walked past, I had to walk past the people. I seen my homeboy. I never forget this. My homeboy Greg. He looked, man. His eyes were so red. So I got up there, and they was like, man. They told me how much time I had. My mama, she walked out the courtroom because she didn't even want to see me get sentenced. So she walked out the courtroom. So it just, man, I'm talking about the weight. It was so heavy. But I looked, I was like, all right, man. That my eyes was extremely red. I walked past my homeboy. I never forget this. He'll tell you this. He could vouch for this story. I walked past my homeboy Greg again. He tearing up. I say, bro, I'm gonna be all right, bro. I'm gonna be all right. And it was there from there. 2 days later, we had Christmas. We was in the county, and the Lakers was playing the Celtics, December 25th, 2008. I ain't even get out the bunk, man. I was just so ready because once you get sentenced, they make you wait like 5 or 6 days to go to Jackson. I'm talking about, man, I called my mama. Man, it was because this right before Christmas. Man, it was so sad, bro. But I mean, this was so sad. If this would have been a movie on TV, bro, I would have been crying, bro. The shit was so sad. So they
That's
come get
crazy,
me.
man.
Yeah, they come get me to go to Jackson or whatever. I went to Jackson. Like I say, I was on a bus with a lot of different people. So you know on Shawshank Redemption when Andy Dufresne pulled up, they made him get
Yeah.
naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. So we on the bus now. It's the Oakland County bus and the Pontiac bus. It's about 16 of us. Everybody. As soon as you got the bus, everybody get MF and naked. So you sitting there, mind you, bro, you around man, it's dudes, bro, get naked. They taking pictures of your tattoos. Everything in prison, man. I'm talking about you can have a picture of anything looking at it as gang affiliate. So they take
Man.
my tattoos. They give us clothes. They give us our clothes. I was in Jackson for 30 days because that's where they do your mental health check. They do your physical check. They check you see you got any diseases, anything. And that's how they determine what place you're gonna go to. So all that went through.
Mm.
I ended up going where I was going from there. But that was just the basis of just the beginning. But y'all can ask me some more.
Man, so just what was just curious, what was the charge?
I got charged for armed robbery.
Mm.
This is how they do it. By me never being incarcerated, everything's supposed to be low because they charge you. They do it by point.
like first offense, right?
First offense, you got first offense. So instead of my points being low, they charge me. They like, okay, he don't have a bunch of points because he never been incarcerated before. So they rose my guidelines up. Your guidelines, it's a chart that go off to how they sentence you. Since my guidelines were so low, by me never being incarcerated and everything, they rose my guidelines up. So they
Oh
charged
wow.
the low end of my guidelines. Man, they was trying to give me 30 years, bro. And I had never been incarcerated.
Wow.
That's wild, bro.
Nobody was never hurt. Did nobody go to the hospital? No, nothing. Like this, bro, you couldn't make
But
this up, bro.
but
When I
see,
mean,
that's
That's
how they
wild.
get you, bro. That's how they ruin lives. You know what I mean? Like,
man,
30.
Yeah.
they was trying to give me 30 years, bro. I'm talking about nobody never received no medical attention. Nobody was never hurt. No, nothing. So this would, instead of them charging me with with fleeing and eluding, they charged me with obstructive justice. Fleeing and eluding is only 6 months. They charged me with obstructive justice. Now that's 16 months. Then they charged me as habitual, and I had never been locked up before.
Mm.
So they said by me doing more than one crime at one time, now we're gonna charge you habitual, which they should have never did that because I'd never been incarcerated before. But these is how they. That's why, man, I'm an advocate on understanding the law because it's so many people I've met that got messed over like this. It's people I know that got 30 years and 60 years for something they supposed to get 6, 7 years for, 5 years for. So this
That's wild.
man, I'm
Man,
talking
I see you post about that,
man,
about prison reform
man,
and
they
all
do a
of that. I
cold
see you go
game, bro.
crazy about that now.
They do a cold game, and people don't realize this. The reason why they throw out all that time and everything. You notice when somebody running for like judge, they be like, "Yeah, I gave out such and such man hours."
yep.
Man hours is the time that they gave out people. Like
Yeah.
I gave out 12,000 man hours. So that's what, and that's big. That's how
Yeah.
they do it. So people were shocked, like, dog, how did you get 13 years? And that been they rose my guidelines up.
That's wild.
Man,
Bro, 13 years, man. 13 years, 2 books. Just curious, can you think of anything that like that you went in was a thing and then wasn't, or something that new came out? Like, so I'll give you an example of what I mean. Like
okay,
this might sound crazy, but like iPhones, for example. Like an iPhone from 10 years ago can't do what iPhone today. Like, do you have any kind of like moments like you come home and you're like, yo, like the world done
man.
changed?
It was so crazy because I was a guy that was always my body was locked up, but my mind was never locked up. So when I left, the
Okay.
iPhone 2 had just came out. The iPhone
Damn,
2 had just came out
that's
when I left.
perspective, bro.
And I can remember sitting there, I was sitting there looking at it. We were sitting there talking about it. The iPhone 2 had just came out. So when I came home, it was it was like I'm a real observer person. So I was looking around at everything, so everything moved. And like I said, it was a smooth transition for me, but certain things, it was like it took me a little minute to really, because in the joint, we all got that we going off Galaxy phones and stuff like that. So when I got an iPhone
Mm-hmm.
in my hand, that was totally different. Like when I mean extremely different. Just the thing that was more, let's say, different was just coming home and just seeing how people changed, bro. And I'm talking about not nothing negative. I'm just talking about how people grew up, how how just everything, man. Like I say, when I left, my niece was 4 years old. I came home, my niece had graduated. I'm talking about
Mm.
my other niece. I'm talking about this is my stepmother, her granddaughter. She wasn't even living. She wasn't even born. I came home. I'm talking about my grandfather had passed when I was incarcerated. And that story within itself was crazy. Just it was man, I'm talking about, but the thing that I learned the most, man, I'm talking about what I noticed the most, man, it's social media, man. This was the best invention since the automobile. Because if
Mm.
you use it right, man, I'm talking about, man, you have basically social media with this, basically this is the cell phone number for anybody in the world you want to get in contact with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And like I
Yeah.
say, man, like if you know how to really like in the joint, I used to study marketing. I would sit there, I read a lot of books. I'm talking about I would do a lot of reading. So I would sit there, I would watch certain things and it would be so crazy, right? Like how I watch something the way somebody else would watch something is two different things. Because
Right.
I dissect it. Like I remember when BT had this show called The Westbrooks. They was a bunch of sisters, just like the Kardashians. And I seen what was the difference, why they didn't take off like the Kardashians did. Like Outside of that,
Mm.
it used to be the biggest family in the United States used to be the Kennedys. Now it's the Kardashians. That's the most
Yeah.
Mm.
influential family in the United States right now. Like you seen how Kim Kardashian was able to get people out of prison, all type of things. Like people need them for political use.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah.
It was just, man, that's what I seen the most. Like, man, like when I left, Twitter had just came out. Facebook was, I remember seeing Facebook when it first came out in '06. I had this young female rapper, her name was Stacey Cash. And me and her, she showed me Facebook. I'm like, man, this look horrible, bro. Like, you know, remember MySpace, bro? You had you had the answering service. You got your music playing,
Yeah.
all this type of stuff. It was strictly for.
Right.
I thought Facebook was corny when I left. I'm like, this strictly for college students and people in the school and stuff like that.
Yep.
And
Right.
then when, like I say, and I started seeing everything take off, and I'm sitting there watching, and it was so crazy about things, right? I can remember watching certain movies that I used to watch when I was home, and then when I was locked up, it changed my perspective. I can remember watching Dead Presidents, man, tearing up, bro, when Lawrence Tate got sentenced.
Yeah.
I can remember
Yeah.
watching Life, and like it wasn't funny to me no more because I got
Yeah.
homeboys
Yeah.
who ain't never going home.
Mm.
For real.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
certain movies
Man,
I don't even watch.
that's got me thinking, Ken, as you probably know, the prison system is privatized. So
Yes, it's a business.
it behooves a lot of people, well, some powerful people, to keep as many prisoners in as possible. And of course,
For sure.
prison is supposed to rehab you. But in reality, I don't know the exact numbers, but I want to say many, if not most, as in maybe 50% or more, 60% or more of people who get out end up going back in for one reason or the other. And it sounds like you really, you took that decision and you chose rehab. You made another
Yes,
decision to go a different way. Can you kind of talk about, I guess, maybe some of the pressures, or have you felt any pressure to maybe make a decision that would land you back to where you were, where you had to sit down for 13 years, and kind of how that was? And I don't know, did you come across that? Did you have to overcome it, or was it just you got in and you knew, hey, this ain't for me. I'm doing something different.
man. First of all, when I realized you got to be around dudes 24/7, it's not for me.
Yeah.
It's not for me, man. Like I can like it's so crazy, man. Like when you in prison, when you in and not in kind of when you in prison, everybody got to get a job, so they force you to get a job, bro. We on I was a unit porter. So I was a unit porter. Then I was at first I was a shower porter. When I first came to prison, I was in the kitchen. But you got to keep a job. But let me tell you, before I left, when I was in level 1, I was in level 4, level 2, and level 1. I was a unit. I was the bathroom porter or whatever, bro. We making 13 cents a day. 13 cents a day.
Shit.
Our we
Yeah.
call it state rip.
Damn.
Our state rip. My state rip would be $14. I would use that money and just I buy a bunch of Snickers. I probably buy 7 Snickers to eat. You know what I'm saying? It's some people in
Yeah.
there living off that. They living off that. It's some
Yeah.
people in there don't get no family support, and these don't even necessarily even bad people. I'm talking about it was some people that just didn't have the family support. Some people
Yeah.
family
Yeah.
wasn't financially stable to even send them nothing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will never forget, man. I'm talking about the most humble experience in the world, bro. See, people see all this other stuff on social media and they don't understand the real stuff. Like, if a person see me, they think a certain type of way before they have a conversation with me. Like, they don't know, man. I'm talking about I would get up every morning. I'm talking about discipline. I got to do I got to do what I got to do. Studying. I'm talking about being a unit porter. Now, mind you, in the prison, you cleaning up a prison bathroom, bro. You got to clean the prison showers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm letting you think about it. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know the only in level 1, that's the only place where it's privacy at. That's where curtain at. Man, you don't understand some of the stuff I had to mop up in them prison showers, man.
For
If this
sure.
if this don't humble you, bro, and be like, man, nah, bro, I can't come back to this. And let me tell you this crazy stuff, bro. In level we was in Muskegon. I was in level 1. Muskegon level 1 has no doors on the bathroom stall. I could be in there shaving and it's using I'm talking about using the bathroom directly behind me. I'm in the mirror. I got to duck down and turn my head because and then if we try to put a sheet across the toilets, the COs will come in and rip the sheets down. Well, privacy here, you shouldn't have came to prison.
Mm.
Say, and you know what? That's how like if you're living that for so long,
Man.
that's how individuals start to become institutionalized because they
Man,
become used to it. You know what I mean?
bro.
Like, imagine somebody being 20 years in, coming out. Like, even I know you big into music. Think about Big Hit, bro. Like Big Hit was in and out doing a stint of 10 here, a stint of 5 here, you know what I mean, until his son became grown enough to be like, yo, you get out this time. I got enough money. You don't gotta do the stuff that you gotta do. But still, if you watch interviews with Big Hit still got that mentality, bro. Like I was watching one, he was like, bro, I got the shank on me right now. You know what I mean? Start showing it like, hey, it's something I can't get out of my brain. That's just the way I live. So I think it's dope that like you can have an experience where you come out and don't feel like you're still in, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Or
yeah.
don't feel like you gotta live like you're still in.
I look at it, it's the person. Like I'm talking about, I tell people this all the time. I hate when people be like, yeah, when you get out, you gotta change your environment. No. If it's your mentality. Cause I can
Mm-hmm.
move to the moon. I find another alien to get in trouble with if my mentality is garbage.
For sure. For sure.
So like for real. I'm talking about, bro, your environment do not dictate who you is because it's people from our same environment, went to college, went to
Yeah,
was not involved in no garbage, man. I hate being around excuse makers, man.
for
Like,
sure.
don't come around me making no excuses about nothing. I'm talking about I deal with all proactive people, man. We either gonna do it or
Yeah,
we not, man. I don't want to hear about because, bro, everybody is dealt the same cards, but man, we play our hands different.
for sure. That's facts, man. Like it was funny. I saw a video speaking of social media not too long ago. I don't know if I shared it with the group or not, but it was basically someone kind of preaching that same message. Like, bro, he's like, we used to look at people that was in our hoods, people that went to college or people that stayed on the straight and narrow as being the lame ones. And my man was like, "Nah, I've been in this game for 30 plus years, bro, and I'm still doing the same thing while they're out there elevating in life." He said, "No, I'm the lame one, bro." He's like, I come back, I can't even do nothing for them when they come back. You know what I mean? I got
Yeah,
nothing to do nothing for them when they come back. So, you know what I mean? Like you said, it's just a different mentality that some people have to take. And ultimately, like being from Detroit, like you can relate. Being from Detroit, bro, like Detroit will eat you up if you let it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I'm from the hood. I'm not of the hood, you know? Like
yeah,
I made my decision early because luckily I had people around me that were they tried to keep me in that lane, you know what I mean? No matter how much I wanted to be cool or be involved with the game, they was like, "Nah, this ain't for you." You know what I mean? And I had to learn that, you know what, that ain't for me. There's other things out here that I can be doing that can help elevate not only me but those around me as well. So I think it was dope, man. Like it's a dope way to change your perspective. So speaking of
man.
that, you're incarcerated, you're doing your bid, you're doing some time, and all of a sudden, man, you decide to, you know what? Let's make use of this. I'm reading books, I'm learning. Let me write a book. Like, how do you even spark the idea of writing a book, bro? Let
It's
alone
like
two.
like like
and got a third one on the way.
now third one
Right.
out. It's already out. So
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
it was this how it all sparked. So like I say, man, I was always you gonna attract the kind of mind, your kind of mind. So people were all I was always around. I'm talking about guys that was thinkers and stuff like that. Like that's what came around me. If you was on garbage, you wouldn't even feel comfortable being around me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People only gonna be around people they feel comfortable being around. So people knew like my whole thing was in there, man. I'm doing this time. I'm talking about I'm sitting there, I'm taking care of my business. So I was you ever seen the movie did y'all any of y'all grew up listening to East Coast music?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
For
All
sure.
day.
Oh
For
yeah.
sure.
Like so it's a group called Five Percenters.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Five Percenters, they are real big on the East Coast. When you hear somebody say sun, God, peace, my earth, and stuff like that. When I used to listen to a lot of Wu Tang and stuff like that
For
growing up.
sure.
I thought they was talking slick. I thought it was a slick way of talking, not understanding that this was a religion. Now,
Right.
5% started from Clarence X to 13th. Used to be in the Nation of Islam.
Mm-hmm.
They all about. They call themselves gods, and Erica Badu a 5%. She a
Sure.
5%er. It's a lot of them. The movie Belly, the whole movie Belly is based on the teachings of 5%ers.
Yeah.
Like once you understand it, you'll look at the whole movie different. So it was this guy who was in the cube, his name was King. Man, he wrote a book. And he was like, man, I used to always carry my book, not book bag, but like notes and everything. And he was like, bro, what you doing? I'm like, just writing. He was like, man, I write books. He showed me a book. And when he showed me, he was like, man, you need to put some stuff out. Man, I was like, that was the best thing. Somebody I'm talking about. That was the best gift I ever got ever. Because he showed me that it was possible. Like the best gift you can ever give a man, I'm talking about, is give them hope. You give a man hope, man, I'm talking about, man, he can move mountains. And it was something I wanted to do. I said, man, bet. So I've always been around great people. Like I can remember being in level 4. My homeboy Nas, he was now mind you, right? We would go to church. He would tell me all the time, man, come on over to church, man. I knew him from the streets. Me and him did 3 prison. We was in 3 different prisons together. I'm talking about one of my closest friends, man. He would have me go over there to church, everything, man. We'd go over there study and everything. Like I came across so many great people. But going back to like I say, from there, I had an MP3 player. At the time we only had the MP3 players. My MP3 player was filled with nothing but music. Filled with nothing but Detroit music. It was Detroit R&B, everything. I didn't want to hear nothing else but our city music 'cause I was so homesick.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I started, and by me already doing music before I left, I already knew a lot about the history. Then I started studying because I'm a nerd on like history. Like,
Mm-hmm.
man, I'm talking about I sit there watch the History Channel all day. I go to the library. I would sign up to go to the law library. At first I was going for the law library, but then I would sign up for the general library and do studying. Like this
Yeah.
was something I was doing 3 times a week. Like this was part of my routine, studying, reading the newspaper, seeing what's going on, stuff like that. And it was just, man, me and my homeboy Gino, when I got to St. Louis or whatever, because they ended up closing Muskegon, they shipped us all off to St. Louis. I ended up meeting this guy named Gino. He had the same passion for music. He did music also. He was producing music already for the streets. He produced a dude song while we was incarcerated. Me and him sitting there chilling, we would just study, go back and forth, back and forth. And people used to always wonder what I was doing. They sitting there, they think we just sitting there talking about just rap, what other people doing. Not knowing that, man, I'm about to put a book out. They moved me from one side of the prison to the other side. I end up meeting this guy or whatever. Me and him was talking. He was real big in Flint party scene. His friends were still big. And I told him, man, I'm about to write a book. He said, man, don't even worry about it. I'm about to have my people do your cover. So people be capping all day. Man, he
Yeah.
on the phone. He put me on the phone with his homeboy. He said, man, what you need done? I told him, I described it to him. He got off the phone, man. 3 days later, man, it was sent to me.
Wow.
There you go.
His homeboy not only did my first one, but he did my second book cover. I'm talking about, I met some of the most intelligent, some of the most, I'm talking about real people I ever met incarcerated. It was just, they made bad decisions. And everybody is one bad decision away from something going. See, people always think, oh, it couldn't happen to me. It definitely could happen.
Mm.
You could pull off and drive and make a mistake and hit somebody. All type of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
understand? So it was like when I got locked up, you would thought I was the first person to ever get locked up. Bro, I tell you. Like, and
Hmm.
it was so crazy. Man, I'm talking about my stuff went viral before viral was even popular. So I'm in
Man.
the county. I
Yeah.
was talking to this girl, right? She like, I didn't even know what I was even charged for. She's like, yeah, they passing your news clips around everywhere. I'm like, what? So I'm like, but it was so, let me tell you how crazy life is. That's why you never know. The same people that was doing that, I would be in prison on prison visits. They'd be visiting their father, visiting their cousin, visiting their brother, visiting their friend. But I
Mm.
didn't do them like they did me.
Yeah.
I'd be, what's going on? Like, so it's like the tables can turn on the drop of a dime. So that's why you got to be careful how you treat people, because one day you
For
could be up,
sure.
one day you could be down.
Yeah.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I'm
For
strong
sure.
on.
Hey,
Man,
King.
you said you made beats early. You did the producing. What were you using? You remember?
No, we let me tell you, like, so, and now my homeboy, he was doing the beats. That's the one I told you. He had did beats and joint, but we put out a whole rap album in prison.
Oh
This
yeah.
story is so crazy. So Like I'm one of the people, man. If a person like and you would
Bars
when
on
you
bars. That's the name of the mixtape.
like it's so crazy, right? If a person don't know me, they'll think this stuff is far fetched and crazy, but this is real reality. So after I put out my first book, right, I'm on the yard. So you got to realize, majority of these people rapping, I was locked up with. So I'm outside on the yard. It's like 8:30. It's getting dark outside. A guy walk up to me. He say, "Man," he say, "Bro, how you gonna write a book and don't put me in it?" I said, "What?" He say, I say, he say, "Bro, dude," he was mad at me, and I understand. I'm like, man, so I'm like, okay, I'm like, who is you? So I had wrote in my first book, I wrote about T Grizzly. Now, T Grizzly used to be before T Grizzly was a solo artist. He was in a group called All Star Ball Hard. Now, this was they was T Grizzly's young. He's young. They was real young back then. So the guy who started All Star Ball Hard, he in prison. Now this is
Mm.
man, they in the you can look it up everything. I said, man, I said, Pete, man, I'm about to don't even worry about it. So we sitting there talking everything. So we come out the next day, me and him talking. He say, bro, I don't know what you into. He say, bro, let's link up. Let's put some stuff together. He liked the way I moved. I say, bro, bet. I called my homeboy. He had just came home. He from Flint. I called my homeboy. I say, Pete, bro. I say, man, he was just starting to do music. This was right when the Flint music scene started taking off. I call him. I say, man, Pete, bro, I'm in here with bro. Me and him we about to do some business together. He like, bet. I say, man, I want him to see do he still got it. So my homeboy was doing some music or whatever. I called him. Dude recorded over the phone. Now, if you like T Grizzly music, dude, it's nice. So they do a song. Now, mind you, it's all in 3 days. This is how it worked. In 3 days, he had did a song with a guy. So he like, yeah. Now, mind you, now T talk about him. All Star Jr. talked about him the whole time, but he ain't did no music since then. So I said, Pete, man, after I heard him the way he still had it, I said, bro, we need to put out something with you. He said, man, I ain't gonna do nothing until I come home. I said, bro, man, we could do this, bro. We could do this. So he like, now mind you, right? His people is T and all of them, they already on. I'm like, so at the time I had the entertainment company, me and my homeboy Tay, from being incarcerated at entertainment company. So all this stuff is on my page, and when people seeing this, they all gonna vouch to this story. Everybody know this stuff. So I said, man, we're going to put out an album from incarcerated. He said, bet. Now my homeboy I had the entertainment company with, he was going home in 2 months. So I said, bet. I said, man, we gonna get the studio. We gonna call around some studios or whatever. We gonna get some beats, everything. His producer who did this album is MIAJC. Me and MIAJC used to talk on the phone every day. MIAJC doing songs for everybody right now. So MIAJC already had some beats already for him. I'm on the phone talking to MIAJC every day. And I tell bro, I say, Pete, I say, we gonna do this. Man, the dude came out the next day, bro. All the songs was done. The next day, bro,
Mm.
on some crazy stuff. So now we're looking for
All
studios.
over the phone though.
Let me tell you right now. Let me tell you. No, he already had the lyrics already wrote down, and he would be on the phone with the producer listening to the beat. So all this is done. So now we're looking for studios. We're looking for studios. Now people don't understand, to record an album from the joint is totally different because you're going to be off seconds. For some reason, it don't record like how it's going through.
Yeah.
Bro, we went to about 5 different studios. Man, I'm talking about we paid for this from prison. From prison, we paid for studio time for a full album. All Star Lee was
Man.
on there. Molly Brazy was on there. The cover was Time Is Money. He came out, bro. He had took a prison picture. I called one of my mans. They did the graphics. They did the graphics for it.
Yeah.
So Molly Brazy was on there. All Star Lee was on there. MIAJC produced the whole album. So we're going back and forth. We're trying to get this recorded. Now, mind you, we paid for everybody so they won't have to get on the phone, so he could record in peace. So we had to pay for all these different games to not be on the phone while he
Yo.
was on the phone, so people wouldn't talk
Wow.
in the background. So now, mind you, when you record an album from the joint, it's hard because there's no life in it. You can't do your doubles, you can't do your ad libs. You know what I'm saying? So my homeboy came home. So we find one of the coldest studios, SATA record there, everything. So now mind you, we doing all people mind is blew out watching us doing this from prison. When I mean like they can't believe this stuff. So all this is going on, he recording everything done. So like I say, by us recording from the joint, it's hard because you want your ad libs and everything. Everybody did what they supposed to do. So it was done, bro. Came home. I ended up hearing the album. When I heard the album, I'm like, we listened to it or whatever. Like, we didn't go drop it yet. Cause I know why drop it now. And when you come home, you know what I'm saying? We know you can get the push that you really deserve because I'm in here, you in here. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, it can't get the promotion like it would get on a big level because we incarcerated. So, and plus I'm talking about, and then T and all his people can promote it properly. So once people seen we did this, now everybody already knew like anything music wise. I was putting together all the concerts there. I put one of the biggest concerts together in Muskegon. Man, I'm
Wait,
talking about.
time out. You put a concert together in prison?
I'm talking about in level one. We was anything music went on. I'm talking about we had to send the lyrics to the warden to make sure it wasn't no violent lyrics and everything. We did a rap tournament called Sweet 16. Man, it was GDs, Vice Lord, Bloods, Crips. The COs came out there and told me, they said, if anything goes wrong, you're gonna be charged personally for this. Man, I'm talking about
Damn.
it went without no troubles, bro. And we had a pot that whoever won, a guy from Saginaw won. His name is Gnarly Gang Ray. I'm talking about he came home and did some stuff. I'm talking about he wasn't biased. And you know, by us being from Detroit, all the judges were guys from Detroit. We made sure, like, just because he's from Detroit, nah, we gonna get the best rapper to win. He ended up winning. Like, so all this is going on, and oh yeah, sidebar too. When Poe Campaign came home or whatever, he just released a new album or whatever. It's called Guilty by Association. So like I say, T rode the red carpet. T Grizzly rode the red carpet for him. I'm talking about went to the mall, closed Somerset down for him and everything. And like I say, man, I wish this dude nothing but the best. But like I say, we put some great music out together. And you know what I'm saying? Shout out to MIAJC, man. I'm talking about that dude, a solid dude. Me and him was on the phone and did one of the coldest beats for one of the biggest artists in Detroit. Me and him sit there and together. And I was telling him, I'm like, man, I was watching something on TV and I called him. He did the whole beat. So it's this whole, man, I'm talking about you couldn't make this stuff up, man. All this
Yeah,
stuff.
that's dope. That's dope. I
That
don't
is
know
a
if y'all
movie, dog.
I don't know if y'all heard that not Trey Songz, Tory Lane's last album. Well, he dropped the album about a month ago.
Mhm.
And I
No, I ain't
swear,
listened to it.
bro, I swear, before he tweeted out, or somebody tweeted out, that he said, like, we cracked the code. When I tell you this album sounds like it's studio quality, I don't know how the hell he did it. He said him and his engineer figured it out somehow.
Man, that is so
Studio
hard,
quality,
bro.
bro. Yeah.
I got to, man, you got to commend this guy, bro. When I mean it is so hard, bro. I'm talking about we stripped the track down, we tried to line it up. It was, man, that was the hardest time I ever had because I'm thinking it was gonna be easy. But man, I'm talking about because the engineer, he got to make sure that you because when how they do it, you just rapping over the phone. So now he got to
Mhm.
line up the beat with the lyrics. And now, mind you, right, everything is off centered by a couple of seconds. Man, I'm talking
Mhm.
about that stuff was so hard, man. But
Man,
I
so if
believe
you're a
it.
producer or engineer sitting at home, free in free time, and you bitching and complaining because you can't line up your verse or track, listen to the story here.
man,
How hard it is to get it done when you don't have those privileges,
Yeah, that
bro.
just means you can't rap on beat. You just shouldn't be rapping.
That
I,
part too.
I mean, hey, Silk the Shocker made a decent
Oh,
living doing that.
Facts.
man, they didn't did my.
Facts.
I'm talking about. I grew up listening. They didn't did him so dirty, man. How they didn't. This dude outside of
Some of
Master
that's
P,
on him though.
he was the most.
All of it. Ain't no some of it.
I'm trying to be nice.
Did,
Trying to be
nobody
nice.
else rap off beat except for him?
But man, Silk had probably the best No Limit album that charged you to the game.
Mind the mystical,
With the
mind the
features.
mystical, bro.
We can
Mind the
put
Mystical is the best.
Charge It to the Game up against any
So
No Limit.
you obviously the music, man, the book, and I'm gonna say it, bro. I'm so glad you home, bro. So happy to see you, bro.
Thank you.
You know what it is, bro. I'm gonna ask you this: we about to start arguing about music. I can tell. I'm gonna throw some quick questions your way, and then we'll get into some more though about music though. Who's your top guy? I'm gonna go regional. Who's your top guy in the Midwest right now?
Payroll, no question.
Okay, who your top guy on the East Coast right now?
Fabulous.
Today.
Been my top guy since I was 15.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Hey, I ain't gonna. Hey, shout out KT, because y'all two always talked about Fab. You and Kelly, y'all always talked about Fab. All right.
Fabulous.
Who your top guy on the West Coast right now?
On the West Coast, it's always been that's deep, bro. I'm gonna go with Filthy Rich. He's been the most consistent guy on the West Coast to me.
For sure. All right. And last but not least, bro, who's your top guy down south?
Of all time, or just
Yeah, just right now, today, right now.
I'm gonna that's deep, because you know what I'm saying, you
I
know,
know.
man, so many of them, bro. I'm gonna
All right.
That's not a bad pick. That's not a bad pick. So who's your top overall Detroit artist? I know you say Payroll right now. Who's your top artist from Detroit? Just all time.
I'm gonna say that again. I'm gonna say Payroll.
Payroll? Okay.
Because he's been the
All right.
most. This guy, he's been making consistent music since 2008.
I mean, I'm not mad at you. You know, I'm a big Royce guy. Royce is my dude. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I knew that's why you asked that question, because Royce your guy.
you know, Royce my guy. Royce my
Out of
guy.
towner.
But I do like
I'm saying I'm an out of towner.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Eminem, bro. Eminem, man. I know y'all say y'all don't really listen to Eminem like that, but bro, Eminem's the king of Detroit, bro.
I would say that. I knew you was gonna say Royce.
Hold up. Say please. So hold up, man. That's fake news.
He's from Detroit, ain't he?
He said that's fake news.
That's fake news.
He's from Detroit.
He from Detroit, but like I say, we love Eminem. I'm talking about, before we get into this, like I'm talking about, he's a legend. He's in the rap top 5, but he's definitely not the king of Detroit.
No.
Definitely.
I thought obviously, living in Detroit, like
If Eminem does a show in Detroit, the city shuts down. I've never.
Look,
I don't know.
That's about
I'm assuming the
popularity,
city
though. I think that's about popularity.
But
That's about popularity.
I will tell you this: even though he's dead and gone, Eminem does not have a bigger name than Blade Icewood, bro.
Not at all.
So that's who I was gonna say, Ken, because me living in Detroit, and Dame, that's who he put me on. That's what I was saying. I thought you would have said Blade.
So we talking about street shit, or we just talking about Detroit, or is all of Detroit street?
Blade Icewood
music,
was
bro,
like known everywhere, bro.
Yeah, like musically.
But he wasn't known everywhere musically. I never heard of him until
I said
Rod.
Detroit. You just said the king of Detroit, bro. I said he will never have a bigger name in Detroit than Blade Icewood.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm asking, are we talking street shit? Like, or are we just talking?
It's not even street. I'm saying like Detroit.
When you say Detroit, that's where you just.
I'm talking about like, because there's levels. Like, for example, T Grizzly, he's a street rapper. Eminem is not. So that's what I mean. Like, when I say street, I don't mean like in the street. I mean like the type of music he's making.
No, he's not
talking about.
He's not making music for the streets of Detroit, and there's no disrespect.
He's not making music for the streets of Detroit.
No, he's not. He's not nowhere.
No.
Now he never. Not that I've heard. Unless y'all
talking about Eminem.
Eminem.
But no. So when we say, but what I'm saying is, when y'all say king of Detroit, we talking about just overall, or we talking about like on a street level?
Not even on the street level. I'm talking about Eminem. He wouldn't like. Eminem is a legend. Like, we look at it's 2 different categories for him. Don't you know, when we say he the best in the top 5 of all in just the world, but Detroit is his own world. He's not going. We go. He outside of that world. Like,
facts.
Like with me, this is where I was like the top 5 Detroit rappers. I got to go with. I'm going, and these people that didn't have long runs, and I got to throw a 6. I'm going to go with Blade. I'm going to go with Peasy. I'm going to go with Bezzo. Now, these are people that didn't have over 10-year runs. Okay, we got I said Blade, Peasy, Bezzo, Payroll, and my 5th, I got to go with Babyface Ray. These are people that didn't have. In 6, I would go everybody. I can't forget, man. Of course, Wine is the king of Detroit. Street Lord Wine. He's the king of Detroit. And then you got to go with Big Herc. Then you got to go with Cheddar Boy Malik.
All right,
Like
that's
it
8
can keep
now.
on going on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So let me
we
ask
yeah.
you
gotta go.
this. Let me ask you this, Ken. Let me ask you this. And I know
Yes,
Rod gonna chime in too. Why isn't Big Sean on that list?
Big Sean Big Sean is one of my favorite rappers. The thing about like, and I'm glad you said that because Big Sean don't get the respect that he deserved. Big Sean was the first dude to get
Mm-hmm.
on 106 in Park and said, "Man, I've been wanting to do this my whole life," and threw his cardies on. B. I'm talking about Big Sean was. I'm talking about driving down Woodward doing the blade dance. He was the first person that people seen the blade dance done on a national level.
True.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have
And
not heard of most of those rappers that y'all named, except for Big Sean. So my question is, what makes them heir to the throne, or even be have their name thrown in the hat, and not Big Sean?
That's
And this is an outsider asking.
that's deep. That's deep. That's deep because
You
I,
gotta live there, bro.
yeah,
To
that
understand,
part.
you
Ain't
have to
gonna
live there.
right. And the thing about it, this is why I respect Big Sean. I love him so much, what he did for the city. Because when our music wasn't on the national scale, it was just him. I'm
Yeah,
talking about, and he came back and did songs with everybody who was popping in Detroit.
for sure.
Bezzo, Babyface Ray. He did songs with
lie.
Doughboys. When Doughboys was at their
Yeah.
peak, he did songs
So
with
Man, he
everybody.
got the Friday
okay,
Night Cipher
what
ringing
about
all. Hold up. He got the Friday Night Cipher off that Detroit too, where he brought all of
Everybody.
Detroit,
oh yeah, he did. Yeah, I remember
all of
that.
Detroit, and whether you like the song or not, I know it's Hit Boy produced. It's not a song that's gonna be radio played, but in
Mm-mm.
Detroit you feel it because that's rare, bro. Like Detroit artists are
Don't
not
collab
known
like
for
that.
collaborating, bro.
I remember that song
Historically,
too.
so to get everybody, even M was on the track, you know what I mean? Getting everybody that's somebody in Detroit on one track and doing like on WJLB when I was coming up, they used to have the Friday night ciphers and you would just have the local artists come up or up and coming artists come up and just freestyle every Friday. So he named it Friday Night Cipher. So I respect Sean, bro. Sean is
Man,
again, he's arguably
one of
in
the
the
most
fourth
successful.
of likely.
Outside of Eminem, he's
But
the most successful rapper in Detroit.
uh, I mean, I can't even argue that. You know what I mean?
So
Like the
why is he being left out of the? He's because it sounds like he's left out of both y'all's top five.
well,
But
he doesn't like you
you
got to
have
understand. Detroit has a sound,
underground
right?
top five, and then you
Yeah,
got the
Sean does not have a Detroit sound, to my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah, he
Because
don't.
the sound
And
that I
that's
was
why.
introduced to
yeah,
is not the same.
yeah.
It's not the
It's not.
same.
It's
He is
not
more. I don't hear my heart when I say it. It's more commercial. He
definitely.
has a more commercial sound.
Yeah, I would say Detroit is definitely different. Because generally speaking, when you're talking about the king of any city, commercial success comes into play. It's not the thing. It's not saying whoever sold the most is the king of the city. I'm not saying that. But it's almost like y'all are anti like
Not
commercial
anti.
success.
Not anti. You just again when you talk about we'll stick with Blade for example,
It's the
or even
grittiness.
it's not even the grittiness. It's bro, I'm good on both sides of the city. I told you already, East and West are two different sides, bro. Like
That's
it's
true.
not the same. East side and West side is not the same.
Yeah, it's two cities in
South,
one.
yeah. So if you can touch both East and West and get love the same, bro, there's no stopping you in the city. And even like the neighboring cities may know about you and you can move in and out. So it's just a different feel, bro. Like Detroit is a different place. It's a special place. It's one that I call home and will always call home. And why I love it so much is because we are, you know what I mean? We just don't think the same as everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
we
We
move different.
yeah, that's
I would
yeah.
say this, bruh, and DC, you have that too, bruh. Believe it or not, because you met Detroit don't rock with a lot of people. If you don't rock with them, bruh, they don't rock with
Hmm.
you, bruh. Or if you, it's crazy. Ken, I call him out on it, bruh, because we had this conversation, bruh, and when he hit me up on the inbox, like, bruh, here go my cell, call me. I need to get on the show. And he was like, bruh, I'm home. I know you left, you back down south, but bro, your name good up here. And I was like, damn, okay, appreciate that,
Yeah.
bruh. Like that, like I appreciate that, like that, and I love Ken for that and appreciate him, bruh. But if you know people from Detroit, they don't say that loosely.
Not all.
Hmm.
They
Not
don't
all.
say that shit loosely, bro. You know what I'm saying? Not even to make you
Yeah.
feel better, bro. He
Man,
gonna say it, bro.
I gotta say this too. Also, man, I'm talking about we gotta shout out, man, 42 Doug, man, what he did, how he united the city when he brought that concert he had in January. That was the biggest rap concert ever in Detroit history. I'm talking about how he put Team Eastside and Doughboys on his on the stage. He shared his platform,
Yeah.
and like I said, he did what we've been wanting rappers to do for the last 25 years. And it was a guy that only
Yeah.
been in the game for 5 years, man. And like I say, like once he did that, he could have easily said he the king of Detroit when he
Yeah.
pulled that off. He could have easily said that. He could have easily said that. And right now, like he's holding the Detroit on the street rap end. He's the number one person that people think about.
Yes, Skilla. But I
Oh,
think
Skilly, yeah.
Yeah, also Skilla, yeah.
Skilla.
Yeah.
But I will say T Grizzly was the first dude because he came out right around the time I moved down here. He's the first dude that I know that had the Detroit sound go nationally.
Yeah.
Like when that first day out came,
That was all on the radio. It was down here in the
I was
Carolinas,
like,
bro. It was on the
like,
radio.
bro,
Spinning.
like really? Y'all listening to this? But
Yeah.
yeah,
We
I
were
was like,
so
oh, hey,
we
you
were
from
so
Detroit.
happy. It was I was in a joint and the CEO was like, man, come here, man. It was a black guy. We was in Muskegon. And he was like, man, that dude, he was from Baton Rouge, the black CEO. I'm talking about cool than him. He like, man, so he told me, he was like, man, wait till everybody go to Child so the unit can be clear so I can see the video. So he showed me the video or whatever. And he was like, man, and bro, when the first time we heard first day out, bro, people's eyes was tearing up, bro. We was in a joint because we felt it
That hit
different.
different.
It hit, when I mean, that song right there, anybody, that's why every time somebody walk out of prison, that's the first song they play. That song touch, and then how life works so crazy. Then I end up doing music with his homeboy. Like it just, life works so crazy, man. You can't
yeah,
make this stuff up.
for real,
Damn, man. Yeah, that is a soundtrack. I can imagine it being a soundtrack to so many people's lives, bro.
Man, I'm talking
That's
about,
getting
bro.
it home, bro.
That's the number one going home song. It's been 1,000 songs try to duplicate that song, can't get that same magic.
That's what's up, bro. So now it's time to get messy a little bit. I ain't gonna really get messy. We was talking about before we went live. We had a nice debate, bro. Obviously, Complex Magazine released this article about Atlanta's top 50. I ain't gonna go through the whole top 50. We ain't got that much time. However, number one was Andre 3 Stacks. I love Andre, bro. He's in the greatest group of all time. I don't think he deserves number one. But he's in the greatest group of all time. You can fight me on that. He's in the greatest group of all time. Love Wu-Tang too, but it's Outkast. It's Outkast over UGK. Love UGK. Rest in peace, Pimp. All of that. He's in the greatest group of all time. I don't think he's the number one artist in Atlanta.
If not him, then who?
Probably Tip.
No, I would say Future.
Like, or Future.
Come on,
I would say
Yeah, that was
Future.
so there was the two.
Like how is you gonna be the I'm talking about, we got to break this down, man.
Hold on,
This
before you
dude-
break it down, Ken, I wanted to tell you this so you can yell at
Yes,
DC
I
because
wanna get on
me and
this.
Rod already understand. But we had a top 5 NC conversation, and Andre 3 Stacks is in DC's top 5. I don't know, as an individual artist, I don't know why, but I'll let you simmer on that as you break this down, so you can talk to DC because me and Rod get it.
Y'all get to be wrong. I mean, yeah.
Like, okay, the reason why I say that he wouldn't be in my top 5 because he's a group artist and he don't even have enough solo songs to make him in the top 5. Think about it. He's sharing
Correct.
bars with other people. So I could put my best bars out there if I got to make a 16, and if I'm sharing bars with somebody else. When you put a full project together by yourself, that's when you know an artist. Because we have also seen artists that be in a group and then when they come out
See, the
solo,
Matrix
they
does not
albums
agree.
suck.
You know what I'm saying?
We have
We
seen
can
that.
already tell the Matrix.
And then, and then reason why I say it's Future. Come on, man. What artist that we know that's been popping since 2010 outside of Drake? Drake and Future, the only artist been
That's
popping
Andre
fair.
since
3000.
2010.
What?
Andre
Andre
3000 been
3000
popping
has been
since
popping.
Drake.
Bro,
Not
Andre
consistently.
came out since the
Think
90s,
about
bro.
Wait. Since
He been
Drake
out
came
since the
out, let's
90s.
No, but ain't
timestamp it. Let's timestamp it. Since Drake came
No, we
out,
talking
right?
about like,
Andre 3000 has been on that same trajectory as Drake or Future has.
nowhere
You can say
near.
Future has.
Andre Downs only got music.
It's Future, bro.
What I'm saying is, if we're talking about who's been popping the longest, it's clearly Andre 3000. I mean, he's been around since the 90s.
No,
If
Andre
he
3000,
drops something today, the world will
he's
stop
not.
and listen. And that is a fact. If he drops something right now, we will stop recording and we will go and listen, or we'll listen to it live. Stop me when I'm lying. If Future drop, we're not gonna do that. We gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out. I'm a huge Future fan, mind you. I wouldn't be mad if Future was number one, but to say that Stacks don't deserve it, come on, bro. One, he's part of the greatest group of all time
Yep.
that's only dropped classic albums. We're gonna pretend Idlewild don't exist. Outside of Idlewild, every single album they dropped was a classic. Every
Facts.
single one. Universally out everything from Southern Playlist to Cadillac Music
Mhm.
to Stankonia and everything in between. Two, let's go through some features, bro. Every time Stax drops a feature, he steals the show. He did the song with UGK, International Players Anthem. We all remember that. I do with Jay-Z and Jeezy. He outshined Jay-Z on that song. What a job with Devin the Dude. Bro, I could go on and on. Beyonce, John Legend, Give Me the Green Light. Rich Boy, Throw Some D's. Remember that remix?
Oh yeah,
Bro,
I do.
every
So
single feature he drops on, he steals the show.
so
Every
what you're
single one.
but what you're
I
saying
agree
is
with you with that. But
he's the
outside
greatest
of
feature.
yes, but outside of you,
But he
every
also has
song
his
you
own
name
catalog.
came out in 2010. Like what Future
Say
has
what?
been on
Every
top since
song that came out.
2010. I'm talking about every song was under 2010. You name
Sorry, he did a song with Sorry, T.I., and that was off T.I.'s last album. That was beyond 2010.
it. No, that was on the
How
that was
old
on
is
the
that
album that
song?
came
How old is
out
that
in
song? Maybe 10
2014.
years?
No, it's not.
It's
Sorry
way over.
with T.I.?
Yeah.
That
When that
song
come
can't
out?
be more than
That
5
song,
years old, bro. It
Whoa,
that
can't
it's
song
be.
is
more than
about
5, bro.
no, that song is about 10 years old.
Dang, 2012. Dang, that song.
Yes,
Hey, God, dog, I'm getting
Oh
old,
yeah,
man.
time to start backpedaling and go
I'm
on.
getting
yeah.
old.
Like
Man, I
think
did
about
not realize that song was that
So that
long.
song's 12 years
So
old, bro.
like
so
Yeah,
we
it's
name
got some
we
age
name
on it. But that's how
we
dope it is. That I didn't forgot. I
Nah,
didn't
stop,
yeah
realize it was
stop.
that old, bro. Like it could have came
we
out
naming
today.
we naming features like he'd just pop up like if I know I'm doing 4 features a year, I'm gonna write my best bars for the 4 features a year.
Fabulous does the same thing, but he don't have the same impact. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
that's fake news right there. That's fake news right
Fabulous
there.
got the same impact as Stacks. Come on,
No,
Ken.
I
You,
ain't
you
gonna
don't.
say
You ain't got
that.
to do this.
Let me tell you, I would never say he got the same impact as because we talking about some a group who kickstarted the South Run, but we talking about consistency. Fabulous has been consistent since 1998. Far as bars, he and everybody top. He can make.
Far as
He can do street songs. He can do songs for the women. We ain't gonna talk about how he impact the culture with just like
With all
I would
that,
put Fab
his
against
career has still been mid,
anybody.
though. Nobody can argue the bars, but his career has been mid. And you want to talk about somebody who ain't dropped no album?
see
He don't drop
see
albums. He
see
drops
but
mixtapes.
here's the thing. Like, and I get where you're trying to go, DC, but I'm gonna stick on the same plane that I was on when we landed it before. We just took off in the air and we're gonna bring it back down. He does not I cannot put him at the top of a solo artist list if he has one solo album, bro. Like that,
He's got two. He got the Flute album. That's two albums.
bro.
Real talk.
Ken ain't got no
He don't
words
have
for
enough
that.
material.
So yeah, so they had on this complex list, they had Stacks at number 1, and then they got Big Boy at number 8. You know what I mean? Like that to me, that's disrespectful to Big Boy. And
Yeah,
I
like
get it. Like Stacks is dope, bro. Like lyrically wise, he is top tier, right? But Big Boy was no slouch. People act like that Stacks was just blowing Big
Carrying
Boy out the
Outcast,
water.
bro.
man,
No, that's the thing. Like I'm like, how can you put Stacks number 1 and then say Big Boy is 8? That's to me, that's disrespectful to
I mean, they're both
Again,
in
Outkast,
the top
skewed.
10.
That's
That's pretty
skewed,
good,
bro.
bro. He's
and
a top 10
B,
artist. That's pretty
bro.
good.
Bro, if
and
we
let's say this right.
50% partners, if we 50% partners, and I'm 7 slots down from you as far as my craft go, is what you're telling me. You okay with that?
That means one of us
Because
has
you,
been doing more than 50% of the heavy lifting, bro. And it's been
oh,
Stacks.
how
It's
do I
been
mute?
Stacks.
I can't mute his mic from here. I can't do
It's
that,
been
can
Stacks, bro. To say that those albums was 50-50, like the world would
They
disagree with
definitely
you.
was.
I?
They wasn't
I
50-50
they
in
were
terms
not
of
50-50.
impact. In
Outcast
terms of impact.
albums,
Outcasts are
Outcast
always
albums.
50-50, bro.
No, bro, they're not. You know, now
Uh,
when I say 50-50, I'm not talking counting bars. I'm talking about impact.
yes, that's what
Stacks
I'm
has the
talking
biggest
about,
impact between the two of them. Yeah, I don't even
Wow.
understand how like
That's tough.
it's not that tough.
No,
It's clearly
we
not
gonna
tough
say
at all.
that is
It's
a
clearly
hot
not
take,
tough when
bro.
Complex
That is a
got him at 1 and got him at 8. Actually, I like the list. The top 10 I think is pretty solid. I would probably put Big Boy over Ludacris. They got Ludacris at 7. I'll probably put Big Boy at 7 and
I
Ludacris at
definitely
8.
wouldn't do that. I'm talking about Ludacris should be in the top. He should be within 6 to I say 6 to 5 because Big Boy every album Big Boy came out with was horrible. Let's keep it real.
Horrible?
Yeah, horrible.
Like
Big
you
Boy
talking
have
about
not
solo?
came out with a good album yet.
Yo, okay.
Wow.
I can't co-sign that one.
So,
I will say that
but DC, you're telling me that Young Thug is better than Big Boy because you said you would only put him at 7 right after Young Thug.
I would
You
say
telling
that.
me that Jeezy is better than Big Boy? I mean, I guess Jeezy had the impact, but
yeah,
Gucci,
yeah. Now,
Gucci,
but
bro,
see, but
Gucci.
this the
Gucci.
yeah,
Man,
definitely.
y'all,
It's
Shout,
Gucci
definitely
had
shout
Gucci.
out my homie Gucci.
Gucci.
Definitely better. Because here's the thing, you also it's not just the bars. If we're just talking about lyrics, yes, Big Boy's better than all of them. But when you're talking about the way that they changed the game and the impact, bro,
And
Young Thug,
Outcast,
whether you
Yeah,
love it or you hate
Outcast.
it, they changed the game.
So Outkast didn't
out.
have an impact?
Yeah.
Big Boy didn't have an impact?
Well, he made the
The
top 10.
dungeon?
You don't make the top 10 without having it making an impact. But
Where
at
did they
some
put
point, you
Gucci?
have to start splitting hairs. And when you start splitting hairs, yeah, I would say Young Thug has had a bigger impact than Big Boy.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
You
would
know what
say
I'm
that
saying?
easily. It's not even close. It's not even close.
Yeah.
I would, cause I be around the youth, and just man, I'm talking about, and with Gucci, man, Gucci, every artist that's big right now, Gucci had a part of that was in from
Yeah.
Atlanta. He had the Migos. He was dealing with Dolph. He had
Yep.
Pee Wee Longway. He had
Yep.
Nicki Minaj, OJ Juice
Yep.
Man, Waka the Flock. All these people came through him.
Cook. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That's why I was like, bro, you got to have
Gucci on the
Gucci top
list. I'm not
5.
mad at that Gucci list, bro.
But I'm saying he's over Big Boy. I mean, when you look at all of those things, like
he
that's
should
why
be
you got to
way over
put
Big
big,
Boy.
yeah, he's got to be over Big Boy,
Like
man.
as a group,
You
Big Boy
know.
would be in there, but as far as a solo artist, no sir, at all, at all. I wouldn't even put him.
Hmm.
I would,
Mhm.
as a solo artist, he wouldn't even be in my top 10 in Atlanta.
I will say that if Outkast did not have Outkast, Big Boy would not be top 10. Granted, we'll never know with Stax because he never really dropped a solo album, but I
That's what I'm
believe
saying.
that Stax would still be top 10 just based off of the little bit of music that we heard. You know what I'm
And
saying? I've never heard no bullshit from Stax ever. You know what I'm saying?
then, man, we
Even
gotta quit
leaked
sleeping
songs.
on
Like
Luda,
some
man. We
songs
got
got
like
leaked in the past that never really dropped. And them things was hard.
What'd you say, Ken?
we man. I'm talking about Luda is one of the people over time that got totally discredited over time. Like, dude,
He
his
has.
first 3 album was ridiculous, man.
Yeah, that
Like,
first run
it
was
was
crazy.
just,
Back for the first time,
yeah,
Chicken and Beer.
I mean, back for the first
come
time. I ain't
on,
gonna lie. That was the soundtrack to our freshman year in college, bro.
And Chicken and
man.
Beer. Both of them, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like I say, it's man, we was going back and forth with this too. And I'm glad I got some guys from the South here. We was talking about
Ugh.
how between 3 6 and Lil Jon with the crunk stuff. And everybody know 3 6
Mm,
Mafia is the one who created crunk music. And
yes.
people be thinking it was Little John and them.
Yeah,
No.
shout out DJ Paul, bro.
Yeah, it was definitely DJ Paul,
One of
Juicy
my best
J.
producers ever. I
Yeah.
love his music, bro.
Yeah. 3-6, bro. Never gets old, bro. I was talking about Project Pat a couple episodes ago
Ask him the
that he
question. Let's pose that statement to a question for Ken. I want to get his take on that.
all right, I would say what rapper would you say gets sampled or bit off or interpolated the most?
Project Pat does.
And
Come on, let's
I'm talking about like more so recent history. When I say recent, I would say in the last 20 years. Which rapper in the last 20 years you think gets bit, sampled, interpolated the most?
I'm gonna say Project Pat. It's not
Man,
even
bro,
close.
and it ain't even close,
Eh,
dog.
Bro, he has
And it
been
ain't even
mentioned from East Coast to the West Coast.
yeah, all coast, everybody.
And he ain't had no
Is,
cheat sheet, ladies and gentlemen. So
yeah,
that was an authentic answer. But
yeah.
it's funny
It's
you say
Project
that,
Pat,
bro,
bro.
because
When you,
DC made a statement, Ken, that Project Pat is the Ron Isley of this generation being sampled.
yes, I could totally agree with that. I could, and
Yeah,
Project Pat got one of the best. Not just he got one of the best hip hop albums. We didn't go say just down south. Mister Don't
Mister Don't Play,
That shit
come
fire,
on.
bro.
bro. I wonder if they knew. Like, I wonder if they knew. Like, yo, this is going to be an all time. Because it's crazy. That to me, you're right. That's an all time great album. But a lot of times when you talk about all time great albums, that doesn't come up. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like if we were talking about top 5 albums of all time, a lot of times that won't get
Right.
mentioned. or top 10 album all time. But yes, in the last 20 years, it is the most sampled
It's the most sampled, bro.
album, and it's like I think like 60 songs were made off of that album, something like that.
But in
It's
his
crazy.
voice or just 1 second blurs has been sampled over 600 times.
Yeah.
He like man,
Crazy.
he started something where it's distinctly him. Like where as soon as you hear it, like that's Project Pat
Yep.
style.
Yep.
That's how I look at man. We had a real deep debate one time, and I was telling people like, so when I was locked up, I was around a bunch of young guys, and then this when Migos had a long run, bro. Oh my god,
Mm-hmm.
man, the Migos, they had the longest run I've ever seen for a rap group that was like Outkast would disappear, come back. We know them, but I'm talking about that was still running from 2011 all the way to 2021. Migos was on fire.
They facts.
Migos was on
Yeah.
fire. Them boys,
Yeah.
they got
Mm-hmm.
hits to back it up, bro. They changed how people looked, bro. They changed the way people rapped. I knew Migos was big when I started hearing singers started da 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 da.
Yeah.
Like they created a whole new sound of music.
And what's crazy is they got their style from 3-6. That's Kustanika. That's
Yeah,
Kustanika, dog.
man.
All
Like
day.
it's
You know what I'm saying?
it's
Which
like
I mean, it's not biting. I mean, to me, it's just things coming full circle.
yeah.
That's not like a dig at them. It's just that's just the history.
And I
You know what
remember
I
Sure,
I'm
mean?
like
bro.
we was sitting there going we was sitting there going when I first came home I was telling the guys and stuff I'm like it's so crazy man like like I said I was locked up them young boys but if you play Jay-Z boy the whole room would get up and leave they couldn't
Yo,
oh my god
you
bro
touched on something I was gonna say because we was talking about this complex list and Future. I was gonna say Future in the South. Future is bigger than Jay-Z.
yeah yes man
Yeah.
I'm talking about I used to when I came home because we grew up off stuff like that I listened to all forms of music man I was
Mm-hmm.
in the joint and little dude he was telling me he was like we was talking about Jay-Z and he sit there and he said this with a clear face he's like yeah Boosie better than Jay-Z. And when he first said it, I thought he was capping, but then I had to realize, I say, what I'm saying, he could be right. And we just looking at it from our point of view, I'm like, of course we gonna say because we grew up listening to him. But anybody that's
Mm-hmm.
35 on down, they grew up listening to Boosie. They grew up, they didn't listen to Jay-Z. Man,
Yeah.
they look at Jay-Z like he cool Mo D in the joint.
Man.
Damn. Damn, not Cool Mo D. You know what? That hits though. I understand what you mean though. I get it.
Because you're
I
around the
could
youth.
I could
You
actually
gotta
see
think,
that.
dude is 54 years old. He's talking about pains and stuff like that. They not trying to hear that.
No. Yeah, and buying real estate in these neighborhoods
Yeah.
that nobody's heard of.
Like
You
they'll
know what
rather
I'm
listen to
saying?
a 50-year-old like Birdman rap that's that age.
Oh,
Then
no.
but you gotta realize the type of people you're around.
Yeah, man. It's
Yeah.
true, bro.
You know, you got me thinking, going back to the complex list, JD, Jermaine Dupri, was like 17 or 18 on the list.
And he's the mayor of Atlanta. How he gonna get 17 and he the one that started all this?
And that's what I was going to say. I'm not sure where I would have put him, but 17 is too low.
Man,
I mean, Playboy Cardi is above him. Offset is above him. Maybe Offset should be. Killer Mike is above him. I love Killer Mike, but he shouldn't be. Yeah, Jermaine Dupri gets kind of disrespected a little bit. Maybe he's just been around for so long because I
bro.
think he's been around since the 80s.
To me,
I
Jermaine
mean,
But
Dupri,
it's a point to the Jay-Z thing, right? You've been around so long. Like, you got to think who else made that list too. Like, were someone our age, bro, in the 40 club, or was it somebody like he said, 35 and younger, who wrote
well,
this article?
number one is older than us.
True.
Stacks. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, yeah. Bro, it would have been embarrassing. Not even close. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's gonna give you a hit every single. You know what's crazy is he gives so many artists hits. Like they'll do an album and then they'll move on. Like Usher did Confessions, and then forget what he dropped after that, but it wasn't produced by Jermaine Dupri. Same thing with Mariah, because when before Emancipation of Mimi came out, her career was kind of that really kind of gave her like resurrected her career at the time. I always wonder, like, why do people do an album and then like they just kind of go and do something else? Same thing with Bow Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Bow Wow was a sensation. He left JD and fell off, and then came back to JD, made hits again, left JD and fell off again.
Man, this was a good one, bro. Before we wrap it up, though, Ken, two things I want to ask you. One, because you mentioned this, bro, about at least 3-4 times, bro. You said there's a difference between making a decision and a mistake, bro. Break that down, man.
man, like, what I'm saying? A lot of times everybody be like, I made a mistake. But like a decision, you know what I'm saying, a mistake,
Or a bad decision. My bad.
yeah, a
Yeah.
bad decision. Like, man, I'm a firm believer in that because, you know what I'm saying, like, I made a bad decision. And the difference between making a bad decision and a mistake, a bad decision is something you thought about doing.
Mm.
That was something that I thought that it was the right thing to do and it wasn't. So I made a bad decision. A mistake is I made a mistake, you know what I'm saying? I always say I made a mistake and stepped on your shoe. I made a mistake and bumped you. I had to learn, man.
Mm.
I had to understand, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to show you. I got to show you this real. And it could have been worse because, like I say, I got friends who ain't gonna never get the same type of second chance that I got. So, and I also, man, I just wanted to let the people know, like, man, like, it's some great people who's, you know what I'm saying, who's coming home, who just all they want to do is affect the community in a positive way, man. That's it.
For sure, bro. And the last thing, one, I know you doing some dope shit in the community, bro. I know you did a shoe giveaway recently. You
Can I
talking
speak on
to the
that too? Can,
youth.
can I speak? I speak on that 1 second.
Yeah, I was gonna
Man,
ask you where somebody can reach out to you to even help and support, bro.
man, when I came home, one of my closest friends I grew up with, his name is Chet M. Pitts. You can look him up. I'm talking about, man, he had Met Plus out cold. What I mean, man, we linked up together and man, I'm talking about he the one that pushed me toward that end because I was already doing things. But man, I'm talking about he took it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And that's somebody, man, I'm talking about it was great, man. I'm talking about the thing was we at first we was gonna give away 800. I was sitting there talking to him. He said, man, we're gonna do 2,000. Like, and these was like, you know what I'm saying, unreleased Kyrie shoes. These was dead stock shoes that never came out. Like, man, it just we could have easily sit there and like, man, let's put these on the internet and sell them, stuff like that. But man, it wasn't about that. It was about, man, helping the community because at the end of the day, your legacy is, man, how many people that you was able to help. Because the
Mm.
people think, man, you sitting there accumulating cars, chains, clothes, material items. It ain't about that, man. It's about how many people that you able to help when you in a position to help them. That's what I want to be known for. All this
Yeah.
other stuff, that's cool and all, man. Like I say, man, I crack jokes. I'm into that, all that other stuff, but I'm grounded also.
That's what's up, bro.
Mm.
So they can reach out to you, bro. Chet M. Pitts.
Yeah, that's
If
on the
anything look to help.
yes. But
But
you know what I'm saying? Like, man, this was a great experience, man. I'm talking about I appreciate meeting y'all fellas, man. And like I say, man, this was great, man. For real. We got a
all
chance to
day.
speak on a lot of things. And that's what
Yeah,
it
man, your
is.
story impactful, bro. And lastly,
Man,
bro, where can the people listening to this show? Because we got some people listening too, and we gonna share this thing like crazy. But man, where can people find your book so we can get you in that top 50, in
man,
that
I'm
top
trying.
25,
Man,
and
I
in
want
that
to
top 10? Where
come
can we
on,
find that
man.
book at, man?
Come on, man. They can go on Amazon, man. Go to Amazon Books. Kenneth Holyfield, man. I wrote this book, man, with a great mind, man. Jay Chandler, man. I'm talking about. We also got a chance to speak on the Flint hip hop scene because we all one in a whole. It's all the Michigan sound. And like I say, man,
Mm-hmm.
y'all, it's gonna be a great read. It's not just about hip hop, it's about the whole culture. I'm talking about clothing lines in Detroit. I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about Detroit you can think of, man. And man, just support the movement, man. Cause like I say, man, I'm gonna continue to do great things and I'm just changing narrative, showing that you can do great things coming home, man. Everybody ain't thinking about crime who didn't be incarcerated. We just wanna, man, just change how people view us.
Set it up, bro. And man, as always, man, folks who listen to the show, Ken, appreciate you, dog. Definitely welcome home again, bro. Good to see you home, bro. Good to see you
All
back,
right,
bro. Good to see
man.
you back on
Y'all,
your
y'all
feet
boys,
too,
man.
more than anything, man.
Man, thank you,
For sure.
thank you. It was a pleasure meeting y'all fellas,
Yeah,
man.
bro.
Continue to
We
do
Yes,
great
sir,
appreciate
man.
you
things,
Appreciate you
joining
coming
us.
through, bro.
For sure.
man. For sure, for sure. I
Man,
love y'all
Yeah,
respect.
we got you.
conversations,
Respect.
man.
We got to. We got to keep up.
For real,
We gonna be keeping up with you, bro. We on you,
man.
bro.
I'm like,
We on you, bro.
come on,
So
we locked in now.
all day,
Okay,
man. And
all
as
right.
always, man, Rod, man, you know, we like to end the show before, man. Rod, man, he always leave a words of encouragement, man, for our listeners, man. Rod, what you got, bro, for the people?
It is in your moment of decision that your destiny is shaped.
Oh, that's deep. That's deep.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing else to be said on that. Man,
Yeah.
what's understood don't need to be said.
Yes, sir.
Man, that's bars right there, man.
Yeah.
So as always, man, you know how Rod introduced himself with those 3 words? I end it with 3 words, bro. Cue the music!